Hey all. So today I wanted to do something kind of stupid and fun and rank every drug I've ever done. It's going to be in two parts because I don't have a lot of storage in my phone. I saw somebody else do this and I was kind of kicking myself because I really wanted to do this like a couple years ago. And I wasn't real active on my YouTube channel until recently. So anyway, I was gonna make a tier list, but I don't think I can really do that because I feel like I'd have to make one like more objective and then one real subjective with my own opinions. So everything's just my opinion and experience, and the rankings are based off of how fun they are, how dangerous I think they are, how addictive, and like the possibility to ruin your life. Would I do them again? And this first part, the reason I divided it up is I divided it up into like drugs that don't have like debilitating and or deadly withdrawal. So the first part's like the kind of the drugs that aren't gonna put you into deadly or debilitating withdrawal, basically. So we're starting off strong with nicotine. I think I counted like 25 total, but I'm probably forgetting some, I don't know. Nicotine is extremely addictive. Obviously, I've been addicted to nicotine since I was 16, so half my life. And I don't think I'm ever gonna quit. I'm not even trying. Maybe if I can quit some other stuff, I'd give it a shot. But it's one of those drugs where it's like meth, not even once. I say nicotine. There's no reason to do it, really. And everyone who tries it gets addicted to it. I mean, it's extremely addictive. Obviously, I smoke cigarettes. I don't really vape. I don't really like it, but I end up doing it a lot in detox. I've tried dip like once and I hate it. I'll take the Zyn sometimes, like when I'm with my family and I can't smoke, But the first time I ever smoked a cigarette, it was when I had a part-time job, and there was a guy I was kind of interested in, right? And he was kind of interested in me. And I became much less interested after we had one conversation. But we were like sitting in his car one day on break, and he smoked. He smoked Reds, of course, because I smoked Reds for years and years and years. And like the first cigarette you smoke's the one you smoked for years. He was like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Oh no, because I don't want to get addicted to nicotine." And he laughed in my face and he's like, "You're not gonna get addicted to cigarettes if you just have one." But that's not true, because you have to have one to have two. So, yeah, as far as like everything I'd never do, nicotine's way up there, even though I'm ranking it really low as far as like it's a more harmless drug, but it's not. I mean, it's gonna kill me, I'm sure. So, yeah. Moving on to weed, marijuana. I mean, there's a lot of forms that you can smoke weed, you can do dabs, you take edibles. I like edibles. I smoked a lot of weed when I was in high school every day. I wouldn't say I was addicted to it, but I was definitely dependent. I smoked at least twice a day, usually 3 or 4 times. I felt like I needed it to go to sleep. And as far as like addictive potential, I don't really think that weed is real addictive. I mean, everything you'll have withdrawal from, but it's not going to be real serious. You'll be sweaty and not sleeping and anxious. But at this point in my life, though, I don't really like weed. It gives me a panic attack immediately. I think part of it's because like everything out there now is like super weed, and I used to just smoke like purely, stems and seeds and shit, just mids. But mids don't even exist anymore, so which is a shame. But I know people who are really like weed junkies. I mean, truly, people that smoke like a whole disc of the resin a day. I don't even know what it's called, like a whole disc, you know, in a day. And that's, I mean, you're a little sick if you're doing that. Along the same lines of that is like Delta 789. I don't even know. I don't know what number they're up to. And I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about the Delta 8 or whatever. I've done it, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 times. I've taken the edibles, and I do not like them. It's got that almost like spice quality to it, which I didn't even include spice on here. Because, well, one, I think that spice is kind of indefinable. Like some people, I'm sorry, my nose is running so bad. Like some people consider it like bath salts, but other people are like, oh, it's Delta 8, you know? Like I think that I don't even know what the actual definition of spice is. And like when I've taken spice, it was just because I was a teenager and somebody handed me a bag of drugs and I did them, you know? Like that's it. So but I don't like any of the Delta variants at all. I mean, at that point, just smoke weed. You know, what are you even doing? I don't really understand why people would take them, but people get addicted to a lot of crazy shit. I mean, people get addicted to Benadryl, so, which I also didn't include on here because I don't even consider it recreational at all. Everything on this list is something like I would consider to be like a recreational, like psychoactive substance, you know. I didn't include like caffeine or anything like that. So but I don't know, Delta 8 I'd rank very low, like D or F tier if I was making a tier list. Next up, DXM and ketamine disassociatives. I like them. I'm hoping to get put back on DXM. I'd love to be on ketamine, honestly. I'd love to get the ketamine treatments, but because they do really help me. And I've abused a lot of DXM, so it's not like the greatest thing ever, you know. It's not a super euphoric high, but it does get you out of your head for sure, which is the point. And even when I was abusing it, I didn't really think it had many negative side effects, you know, nothing physical. And you know, the only thing that would happen is like my hands would like disappear into my body when I was driving, and then I just stopped taking it before I got in the car, you know. Which I was prescribed it at the time. I was definitely abusing it, but you know, nothing real bad happened. I know you can kind of fall in a K-hole and do some crazy shit, but I don't really think it's that bad, and maybe it's just because I've never taken like a shit ton, but as far as like addictive potential, I just don't think it's that crazy, you know. Kind of along with that, I forgot a lot, now I'm just remembering, but like I'm gonna put like tranq / xylazine, that's the same thing, in part 2, but like other tranquilizers, like muscle relaxers, if you take enough of those, you can definitely get high. And I don't think those have a lot of addictive potential because it's not real mental, it's very physical. But that's something that I'd probably rank pretty low as far as being addictive. And I also just want to say, like, there's nothing that aside from one drug, which you could probably guess what it is, that I would actually recommend people do. I don't think people should do drugs at all. I don't think that I've become a better person. I don't think I've learned anything. It's not made my life better in any capacity to use drugs or abuse drugs in any measure. If I could go back in time, I'm not sure that I wouldn't do it, just because I'd still be me. I'd still have the same problems, you know. But I don't want it to come across like I'm saying like this is smart and I recommend this. I don't recommend any of this. So, but the one thing I do think people should try once is LSD. I think that everybody should take psychedelics once. Like actually should. That is the only drug I think you should take once. It's mushrooms and LSD. One, I don't think they really have any addictive potential. I do know somebody who had a stint of abusing a lot of LSD, and that'll fuck you up for sure. But as far as the general public, I don't think it really doesn't have a ton of addictive potential, and it's not real dangerous unless you're taking a lot, which is very unnecessary. And I've had, every experience I've had with psychedelics has been very positive. I've made really impactful changes and important, good changes in my life because of psychedelics, actually because of them. And that's why I'd recommend it. Now, like, is it always pleasant? Not necessarily. Like, I've definitely cried a lot taking them, but it's not necessarily unpleasant. But I think the way that I think about psychedelics is very different from the way I think about other drugs. It's not really an escape as much as it's a trip. It's a journey that you go on, I think one thing that is kind of dangerous about psychedelics is having a bad trip. Having a bad trip, people I know, a lot of people actually, who have taken mushrooms and taken LSD and had a bad trip, have legitimately traumatized themselves, and that's a very real possibility with psychedelics. You have to really prepare for it. I mean, there's a reason it's called a trip, because you wouldn't go overseas without making a list and buying a ticket and packing a suitcase, And the same is true for psychedelics. You can't just, on a whim, yeah, whatever. I think that's pretty dangerous. You have to be genuinely prepared. The last drug in this part one of drugs that I don't consider completely debilitating is speed. Obviously, results may vary with that. I think that speed's really, really addictive, and that's not really my categorization of it. But the withdrawal's not really much. I've never done coke. I've never done crack, and crack is coke, but I've never done either of those. I've used a lot of Adderall and Vyvanse and Ritalin, and I enjoyed those when I was younger. For getting shit done, really. And I wouldn't say they have a ton of addictive potential or a ton of danger to them, other than lack of sleep. I mean, lack of sleep's dangerous, or, embarrassment, but that's any drug. I mean, you can always embarrass yourself. I've done meth once. Meth's obviously not something I would encourage anybody to do. I didn't really enjoy it, and it was on accident. But I don't know. A lot of people I know who are addicted to meth are also addicted to opioids. And so it's hard for me to really say, like, what's the worst. But, meth has a lot of really dangerous things in it. I mean, it's made of things that are just rot your whole brain out. So, I don't know. If I had to rank it, it'd be extremely low. Plus, there is, like, a legitimate come down from speed. The next day you get real depressed with things like meth or Molly, which I do really like Molly, because it's kind of got that ecstasy thing going on, where it's a little bit of like a hallucinogen, so it's pretty euphoric, but I don't know. That's kind of where I stand on speed. It's kind of just like, it's never been for me, but like, of everything that I've discussed thus far, I definitely think it's the most dangerous. I mean, I've met people in detox who are there solely for Adderall, and they get divorced and lose their kids and lose their marriage for fucking Adderall. So anything can happen. I think that the ability to be able to get shit done in your day and not be like so beaten down by life is very appealing, and speed grants that for people, which I very much understand. And there are days that I really wish that I was into speed, because I think I'd probably be a little more productive. But yeah, that's the end of part one. Again, just want to say I'm not encouraging any of this aside from psychedelics, but you got to be ready for it. I don't think that anybody should do drugs, and I think that will be abundantly clear when I talk about all the other stuff I want to talk about. So anyway, that's it for now, and I'm gonna make a part 2 as well. All right, peace.